Good morning. I just finished watching this pastor, Mike Todd, from Transformation Church, who I love. I love watching him. I love the church. They're out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And they have an app and also have a YouTube channel if you guys want to check them out. I posted a sermon a few weeks ago, and today he started a new series called Marked. And I got inspired and wanted to share some things. And his message is about being marked by God, being anointed, and what that looks like in your life. Are you following that? You know, you can keep going down this path and stay in this position, but that doesn't mean that that's what God wants for you and that it's actually being anointed by him. So it's going to cause more stress and just all this happening, right? Because you're not doing as he wants. And so many times, and I was in this space, like when I moved to Atlanta, it was like, okay, you want these things for yourself, for your art, for your career, for your business. You want this company. I wanted this company. I wanted, validation for my work by museums. There were all these I, right? Now, I've been reading the Bible and being in church forever, so I wasn't a stranger to the relationship with God, but I also was having sex out of marriage. I was living with someone I shouldn't have, and I then got out of that and then back into it, and you'll kind of see that journey through my documentary. And I'm so grateful that last April I decided to take a stand for God, because I was compromising myself and what he wanted for someone else or for something else, right? For validation, because I didn't have enough worth within myself, right? For love, because I didn't have God's love within me or the love for myself. I was wanting it from someone else. So I was making these compromises that I should not have been making, and therefore was in this like turmoil of, whoo. And so you get to see a lot of that, which is kind of cool. You guys are going to be able to see a lot of what I went through the last 3 years. But what happened in April, I decided I haven't even been to dinner with the opposite sex. I haven't spent a lot of time with a lot of people, close friends, meeting new people. But I decided to really change my life in an even more dramatic way than I had the last 2 years. And then in 2012, I made a big change to sacrifice to have a business, to be on my own, to follow this path, right? And I have no doubt that I have been following the path. I just got mixed in a situation where I was wanting different things. And in April of last year, I was asked by God, like, this is what we're doing. So what are you going to give up for me? Basically, is what he was asking. And I gave up. I sold all of my furniture. I sold most of my clothes. I came down here in a Jeep in the smallest U-Haul. I did have my studio, but as far as personal belongings, I got rid of them. I decided to not focus on being in any type of relationship with anyone except for getting closer to God. Second. Third, you're giving up your desire to be in museums, to have this $1 million company, to have all of this, right? Give it up. Okay. All right. So what do you want from me? So I come down here and I'm just working with people, and the commissions have become more intimate, which I love. Like, that's more of a healing. It's transforming into that, which I'm really grateful for that. Today's going to be kind of a long one, sorry. I'll try to make it as short as possible. And then the second is, and I lost my train of thought because I was trying to make it short, and now it's going to be longer. He was like, what is it? Like, what are you going to give up? Are you going to give up the money? Are you going to give up the wanting to have this big studio and your gallery and the shows? And I can feel him asking me all of these questions. And are you going to give up your desire to be married and have a life for me? And I just willingly said yes to all of it. And I have been completely focused on God and in the Bible and that relationship. And it's been a beautiful journey, but it's also difficult to take down pride. Like, I think that's where most of us get caught up. It's like we want all of these things for ourselves or what we think and our desires, and that's not why God has us here. Like, he has us here for something else, for him. The rest of it is just what man has made up, right? And I think it's unfortunate that we have to sometimes get lost in the grind to afford the house, because everything's expensive. I mean, you can't not work, right? And then that kind of takes over, and then you're just chasing it rather than following and being a part of the path. And God will provide, I will tell you that. He may not provide in the way that you thought, but I really think he put me in the position to open up so then you guys could give and then you guys could get blessed. Like, that's the way that he works, in my opinion. And you have to be willing to say, okay, I am your servant. Whatever you want, I will do, so that your work can be shown through me. And most of the time, if not all the time, that's a humbling process. And you have to be willing to let go in order to gain and to give and follow, and he will take me somewhere where he's supposed to take me. And in January, I've never felt more called to a new calling. And I even text some of my friends. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know if he's wanting me to go into ministry. I don't know if he's, but I can't get, there's this creative passion in me. That's always going to be there. Is it writing books? Is it film? Which it is a little bit, what is it? And I have felt his tug on me for something new for quite a bit of time. And I study like nobody's business. Like, I spend most of my hours of the day studying. And probably most people wouldn't think that, but I do, and I love it. And I know he's preparing me for something. I know that he's working in my life, and I know that he works in our lives. We just have to be willing to say, what I want doesn't matter. What is it that you want? And then you can't compare yourself, because your friends are going to be going along in their jobs and getting promotions and all of that. But that doesn't mean that they're joyful and filled with God's love. So comparison is a scary place. So taking down the pride, taking down the comparisons, following what God wants me to do, and moving into the next. So when I say like I'm getting back to work and doing all of that, it's really just opening myself up to know that the next is here. And I'm really, really careful to not fall back into that trap of producing art to produce art to make money. There's so much more to it than that. And I know there's that for all of us. So you guys check out the message. It's pretty cool. I just watched it live, so it probably won't be. I know they've got like 4 services today, so you could probably check one through their app. But the new series is called Marked, and you should check it out. So happy Sunday. And I just made some dark chocolate chicken waffles with bacon on the side and a Earl Grey tea. So my morning's been pretty beautiful, and I hope yours is too. And I'm sorry that I kept you on here so long, but it's important. It's important to share.